Have you ever sat quietly and wondered, am I slowly fading away? You're not in pain. You're not in crisis. But something feels off. You used to laugh more, walk faster. Your hands were steadier. Your days were fuller. But now, after 60, things are quieter, slower. And no one tells you this. Losing the little things like the ability to climb stairs or remembering what you ate for lunch could be the first silent signs you're losing your freedom, your joy, and even your identity. But here's the surprising truth. If you can still do just 6 small things, you're not fading. You're thriving. You're quietly winning at life after 60, and this video will prove it. Let me ask you something that no doctor ever will. If you're over 60 and you still laugh every day, climb stairs without gasping, remember what you had for lunch yesterday. Are you just doing okay? Or are you quietly defying the odds? Because after 60, the small things are no longer small. They're powerful signs of physical strength, mental sharpness, and emotional resilience. Most people overlook them, but not you. Today we'll uncover 6 subtle but powerful signs of joy, the kind that reveal you're not just aging gracefully, you're thriving after 60. Life doesn't slow down, it shifts. We lose people, we face health changes. Some days are heavier than others. But here's what society forgets to mention. You don't have to be young to feel alive. You just need to keep doing the little things and notice when you're doing them. I'm 68. I climbed 2 floors to get to my bedroom. My neighbor says I'm still strong. But I know that strength is what lets me keep living alone, cooking, laughing, being me. Nancy Walker, widow and proud grandmother of 6. This video is for people like Nancy. People like you, who don't always feel seen but are quietly winning at life after 60. Sign 1, you can still climb stairs without gasping. It may seem ordinary, but climbing stairs is a powerful hidden test. It challenges your heart, your lungs, your legs, your balance. According to a 2023 study from the European Society of Cardiology, seniors who can climb 3 flights of stairs in under 90 seconds have up to 3 times lower risk of heart disease. I'm Seb. I live in a 2-story house. My laundry's in the basement. That's my daily cardio. Robert Jenkins, retired postal worker, Michigan. Still choosing stairs over the elevator? Still carrying groceries up the porch? That's not just mobility. That's a declaration. I'm still here, I'm still strong. Sign 2. You remember what you ate yesterday. Sounds silly, right? But your brain doesn't think so. After 60, short-term memory begins to fade for many. But if you can recall yesterday's lunch, a phone conversation, or who stopped by, that's your brain still showing up for life. According to the Alzheimer's Association, over 11% of adults over 65 show signs of memory impairment. But those who stay engaged in daily routines like recalling meals show slower cognitive decline. I'm 67. Every night I text my daughter what I made for dinner. Sometimes it's just rice and veggies. But remembering it, that's my brain staying strong. Elaine Summers, caregiver and widow, Florida. So the next time you stop and think, what did I eat yesterday? Smile when the answer comes. You're keeping your mind alive, 1 meal at a time. Sign 3. You can balance on 1 leg for 10 seconds. It sounds like a silly game, but it might just save your life. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that seniors over 60 who could stand on 1 leg for 10 seconds had a 54% lower risk of death in the next decade. Why? Because balance is more than coordination. It's a full-body signal that your brain, muscles, reflexes, inner ear are all still working together. Every morning I brush my teeth while standing on one leg. My wife laughs, but hey, I'm training to live longer. Frank Delaney, 70, Arizona. Try it. If you can balance even with a wobble, you're not just steady. You're connected to your body, aware of your movement, and actively preventing falls, the #1 cause of injury-related deaths for seniors. And remember, these aren't just tests. They're quiet triumphs. Signs that even when the world overlooks you, your body, mind, and spirit are still fighting for joy. If you've passed even one of these signs, stay with us. Let's keep going. Because if you're still with me, chances are you've already passed some of these signs. And now we move to the next 3. They're a little softer, a little quieter. But don't let that fool you. These signs are just as powerful as climbing stairs or staying balanced. Because thriving after 60 isn't just physical. It's emotional, spiritual, relational. So let's talk about laughter, friendship, and food, not just as pleasures, but as proof that you're still fully alive. Sign 4. You still laugh even when life isn't funny. You know what's more powerful than medicine? A deep, real belly laugh, especially after 60. Because laughter isn't just about humor, it's about resilience. It means that somewhere deep down, your spirit is still light enough to rise even when life gets heavy. After a certain age, laughter becomes rare. You lose people, your body aches, the world feels faster, colder, noisier. But if you can still laugh at a joke, at yourself, or at the absurdity of life, you are emotionally strong. I'm 72. My knees hurt, my back cracks, and I talk to myself too much. But I still joke with the barista at my local cafe. If I can make one person laugh a day, I feel like I still matter. Raymond Joseph, retired electrician, Ohio. A study by Stanford University found that seniors who laugh daily have lower stress levels, better memory, improved immunity, less risk of depression. In other words, laughter isn't just relief, it's medicine. So the next time you chuckle at something small, remember, that's your soul saying, I'm still in the game. Sign 5. You still nurture friendships, new or old. Let's talk about something rarely discussed, but deeply important: loneliness. According to the National Institute on Aging, loneliness in older adults is linked to 45% higher risk of dementia, 32% higher risk of stroke, increased mortality equal to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's right. Loneliness is as dangerous as heart disease. But if you call your old friends, join a club or hobby group, text your grandkids, or simply wave to neighbors, you are doing something extraordinary. I'm 69 and live alone. I joined a book club 2 years ago. We don't always talk about books. Sometimes we cry, sometimes we laugh. But those women are my lifeline. Kathy Lawson, Georgia. Friendships after 60 aren't just social. They're survival. Even one genuine connection can lower inflammation, improve sleep, boost emotional wellness, add up to 10 years to your life expectancy. The people you surround yourself with are your real medicine. They help you stay human. And the best part, it's never too late to make a new friend. Sign 6. You still cook, even if it's just for yourself. It may seem simple, but this might be the most underrated sign of joy. Cooking even just for one is a powerful act of self-love. Because after 60, your hands may ache, appetite may drop, motivation can fade, and you may ask, why bother? But every time you chop vegetables, warm soup from scratch, try a new recipe, or make your signature grilled cheese, you're telling the world, I still care about my life. I'm 66. I lost my husband 3 years ago. I didn't cook for 6 months. But one day I made chicken noodle soup just for me. I cried while I ate it, but it healed something. Susan Granger, Alberta. Research from Sweden's Senior Nutri study shows that seniors who cook at least 5 days a week, eat more nutritiously, are less likely to be depressed, show stronger memory and motor coordination, report higher self-worth and identity. And here's something beautiful. Cooking activates every part of your being, your senses, your memory, your body, your creativity. Every Saturday, I bake bread by hand. Kneading dough reminds me of my childhood and that I still have strength in these old hands. Deborah Flores, 73, Maine. So yes, even reheating soup with care can be a radical act of hope. Final reflection. It's not just anything. They'll say, it's just stairs. It's just cooking. It's just a joke. But when you're over 60, it's never just anything. Every moment you choose joy, connection, effort, or care, you are choosing life. I'm 76. I still tell corny jokes, cook for myself, and FaceTime my granddaughter every Sunday. I'm not fast anymore, but I'm not done yet either. George Langston, Arizona. So if you're doing even one of these 6 things, you're not just surviving. You're not invisible. You are a living, breathing sign of joy. If you've made it this far, then chances are you're not just checking off a list. You're reflecting on your life. You're wondering quietly, am I really living, or am I just going through the motions? And that, right there, is a sign of joy. Because awareness is the first step to transformation. In this next part, we explore the deeper, more spiritual wins. Reclaiming your identity, regaining your emotional independence, and rediscovering a purpose that's truly your own. These are the victories no one sees, but they shape everything about how you live after 60. Sign 7. You know your worth, even if the world doesn't see it. We live in a world that often ignores people over 60. You may not be in the workforce anymore. Your kids may not need you the same way. You may walk into a room and feel invisible. But here's the truth. Your worth has never been defined by your job, your body, or your productivity. Your worth comes from something deeper. From the stories you've lived, the love you've given, and the wisdom you carry in your silence. I'm 70. I don't use social media. I don't take selfies. But when my grandson listens to my stories like they're gold, that's when I know I still matter. Kenneth Bryant, retired mechanic, Texas. Too many elders begin to shrink themselves to become low maintenance, non-burdensome, quiet. But every time you say what you need, ask for what you deserve. Refuse to apologize for existing. You're claiming your dignity. According to the Journal of Aging Studies, seniors who maintain a strong sense of self-worth experience lower rates of depression, stronger immune response, higher life satisfaction, better cognitive resilience. So don't wait for the world to see you. See yourself first. You are not behind. You are not irrelevant. You are still becoming, just in quieter, deeper ways. Sign 8. You can feel pain without letting it define you. There's a kind of power that only comes with age. It's not loud. It doesn't need attention. It's the power of knowing your emotions and still choosing peace. You may feel anger at how life turned out, regret about missed chances, grief that won't fully leave. But if you can sit with those feelings without lashing out, without drowning in them, you have something rare, emotional mastery. I'm 73. I still cry on my late husband's birthday, but I also light a candle and listen to our favorite song. That's how I keep my sadness soft and my love alive. Maria Jennings, Florida. Emotional independence means you don't need others to fix you. You know how to hold space for your own heart. And you can ride the waves without getting lost at sea. A report from Harvard's Center on Aging showed that seniors who practice emotional awareness and acceptance recover faster from illness, experience better sleep, make clearer decisions under stress, and more than anything, they live with more grace. Not because life is easier, but because their heart is stronger. Sign 9. You still wake up for something that matters. Let's talk about something most people stop asking after retirement. What gets you out of bed in the morning? Not what pays you. Not what others expect, but what lights you up even quietly. Purpose after 60 doesn't need to be grand. It can be taking care of your garden, writing letters to your grandkids, volunteering at the shelter, or finally learning watercolor. I'm 77. I feed stray cats in my neighborhood. Every morning they're waiting for me. It may not mean much to others, but it gives me a reason to show up. Howard Lane, New Jersey. A study from the University of Michigan found that older adults with a strong sense of purpose were 4 times more likely to stay physically active, less likely to develop Alzheimer's, 40% less likely to suffer strokes or heart attacks. And the best part? You get to choose what purpose means for you now. It doesn't need to impress anyone. It only needs to feel real to you. Final thought. You are not done yet. If you still believe your voice matters, still feel things deeply, still wake up with something to give, then don't let anyone tell you that your best days are behind you. I'm 80. I can't run like I used to, but I still smile when I look out the window, write a line of poetry, or hug my great-grandchild. I'm still creating moments, and that's enough. Dorothy Franklin, Oregon. You don't need permission to live fully. You just need to recognize the signs that you already are. Welcome to the final part of this journey. If you've made it here through the stairs and memory tests, through laughter and loneliness, through grief and purpose, then you're not just surviving life after 60, you're living it deeply, quietly, powerfully. And that matters. Because most people don't talk about what it really means to grow older. They talk about loss, about slowing down, about being careful. But here we've talked about something else. We've talked about joy, strength, resilience, becoming. And now it's time to pull it all together. Let's recap the 9 quiet victories you may not have realized you're already achieving. You can still climb stairs, a sign of heart, lung, and leg strength. You remember what you ate yesterday, a sign of mental sharpness. You can balance on one leg, a sign of neurological and physical control. You still laugh even in hard times, showing emotional resilience. You maintain friendships, old or new, proving you still care and connect. You cook for yourself, showing dignity, effort, and nourishment. You know your worth even when others overlook you. You feel pain, but you don't let it control your life. You wake up with purpose, however small or personal it may be. These are not just habits. They are signs of joy, quiet, persistent proof that you are still becoming. I'm 78. I'm not who I was at 50, but I'm more aware, more intentional, and somehow more alive. Sandra Lee, Washington. Every one of these 9 signs is like a mirror. It doesn't just reflect what you can do. It shows who you've become. You've learned to adapt. You've learned to endure. And most powerfully, you've learned to stay open to life. That's not easy. In a world that often tells seniors to step back, stay quiet, and shrink, you've stayed awake. And if you haven't done all 9, that's okay. Even doing one of these things means you're still moving forward. I thought retirement was the end. Turns out it was the first time I could finally listen to myself. Now I walk, write, and reflect because I can. Jonathan Meyer, retired teacher, Nevada. Here's the hidden truth about aging. Most of the strength you gain after 60 isn't physical. It's spiritual. It's the strength to get up when no one's watching, to care when no one expects you to keep your mind engaged when people talk over you, to stay curious when the world moves too fast. These are not just good habits. They are a form of quiet revolution. They say, I'm still growing. I'm still here. I still matter. And that message, that energy ripples outward. Your grandchildren see it. Your neighbors feel it. Your body responds to it. Because when you choose joy, you change everything. If you've recognized even one of these signs in yourself, then don't let this be just a video you watch. Let it be a mirror. Leave a comment and share your sign. Tell us, what brings you joy? What are you still doing that most people overlook? What have you reclaimed about yourself after 60? You never know who needs to read your words. I thought I was invisible until I commented on a video like this. Someone replied and said, "You reminded me of my mother." I cried. I realized I still have something to give. Thomas Green, 82, California. You do have something to give. Even if it's just your presence. Even if it's just your story. Here's something we rarely say but should. You don't have to be young to be powerful. You don't have to be fast to be strong. You don't have to be seen to be wise. Your life after 60 is not a shadow of what came before. It is a new landscape with softer light, deeper roots, and richer meaning. At 85, I don't chase anything anymore. I just sit in the sun, watch birds, and feel the wind. And somehow I feel like I've finally arrived. Lucille Harmon, South Carolina. So if no one told you this today, let me be the first. You're doing better than you think. You are not invisible. You are still blooming. And these signs, these everyday miracles, are proof of that. If this video touched something in you, help it reach someone else. Leave a comment. Share this with a friend who's over 60. Or simply whisper to yourself, right now, I'm still here, I'm still strong. Because you are. And we see you.